Hello traders, good day to you all. This is Tom Willis from Opteck. Today it is the 31st of October 2013. We're almost approaching a new month. As you can see, yesterday we had an announcement from the Federal Bank regarding the extension program. Obviously, as expected, they've stated that they're going to continue as they did before, without any changes regarding the perspective. And the markets received that information badly. We saw that indices from the United States dropped down yesterday. Stocks dropped down as well. The dollar, as I stated yesterday, gained strength generally in the market. It's among the strongest currencies in the market at the moment, and we'll see this perspective. At least it was an hour ago. We will reanalyze that in several minutes. And again, we will talk about expectation later on this trading session and further on into the next several days. We had several announcements regarding the euro that gave weakness to the euro. As you can see, we've got in Italy, we've got unemployment rate dropping down, climbing up. A bad indication, another bad indication regarding general unemployment rate regarding the euro. That gave a lot of weakness to the euro. The Japanese yen was approximately in the middle in terms of strength and weakness. We will measure that as well. Later on this trading session, we've got a great opportunity over here coming up. The Canadian dollar GDP and the unemployment claims in the United States will be exposed at 1:30 p.m. GMT time, an hour and 10 minutes from now. After that, we won't have a lot of announcements, but still, the market is pretty liquidized. My assumption is that we will see a continuance of a stronger dollar in the market, and I will show you based on the chart why I'm talking about a potential of a stronger dollar in the market. When I'm analyzing the dollar, I will refer to the gold, the silver, and the Japanese yen. The combination between them will potentially indicate whether the dollar should gain strength or lose strength later on this trading session. Let's analyze the charts. Okay, so first of all, as I'm always doing, let's go to the strength indication. Let's see who's stronger and who's weaker in the market at the moment. Okay, so from this measurement, we can say that the strength indication remained the same as it was an hour ago. At the moment, the New Zealand, the Australian dollar, and the Canadian dollar are the strongest. The dollar is fluctuating around the 50 level, meaning almost equivalent to the Japanese yen. The pound, the Swiss franc, and the euro are the weakest currencies in the market at the moment. If you'd like to trade our 60-second strategy, you can use the euro in front of the Australian dollar. A variety of opportunities to catch a downtrend on the euro versus the Australian dollar. It will allow you to catch more and more and more potential trades as the market will move along. I would participate in trades like that for 5 or 10 minutes. So looking at the Japanese yen, I basically would avoid to trade the Japanese yen currencies at the moment because it seems like the Japanese yen again is in the middle and it won't reflect good potential. It's not strong enough or weak enough to pull or push a downtrend or an uptrend in front of any other currency. Not the better probability, may do that, but not the better probability. Let's go to the on-demand instruments. Okay. Through this image, we can say that the Australian dollar in front of the New Zealand is not so confident. Again, they are both reflect the same perspective in terms of strength and weakness, and this is why we can't find a logical trade. You can see that it happened during the last several days. It's just fluctuating around the 50 level, showing us that there isn't a specific indication toward a specific direction. And in this case, we would avoid to trade this asset until we will have a confident movement beyond a specific area that will confirm. Um, I've talked during, we had a webinar, a live trading webinar approximately an hour ago, and I've talked about the potential for a downtrend on the dollar in front of the Australian dollar. I've placed a trend line over here, and I said that once we will cross this trend line, I advise traders to take a trade on that one for a put option for half an hour or even 1 hour because of the low liquidity between the two currencies. So that was definitely a good choice. At the moment, it seems like the market should get another pullback higher, and only then it will drop down toward this trend line, bouncing on it several times and then crossing that again. But this is another um, reason why I'm saying that at the moment I see a potential for a stronger dollar in the market. Australian dollar is among the strongest currencies, and if the dollar should gain strength in front of it in terms of structure, meaning that the dollar should gain larger amount of strength, and that is why my expectation from the unemployment claims will be good for the dollar. Euro in front of the Australian dollar. We should get a good potential for a trade over here, but not on a 15-minute chart, but on a 5-minute chart because it's too strong. The Australian dollar is too strong in front of the weakening euro in the market. So a 5-minute chart will indicate definitely a good trade. A placing trend line below the entire corrective pattern, a stochastic climbing up, and an RSI below is indicating a good potential for a downtrend. That's definitely a good choice for a put option once we will receive confirmation crossing the trend line. Over here we've got nothing. Again, the Australian dollar is better probability than the Japanese yen, although we see a good potential for a continuance of a downtrend over here. The Australian dollar is stronger than the Japanese yen. It will express stronger and larger movements as the euro will continue its weakness in front of other currencies. The Australian dollar will definitely be the better choice. Pound Japanese yen. Interesting structure over here. We can say that the movement higher is exhausted. The RSI is fluctuating around the 50 level, but once we will cross the trend line below the entire pattern, we will receive a confirmation from the RSI. So I can't say once, I will say if. If we will receive a cross beyond the trend line, we will have a good indication for a put option over here, just as we had from this moment and beyond. Again, in this case, we had another good trade. A trend line below this entire pattern had delivered a nice potential for a downtrend movement. Okay, and this is exactly what I wanted to talk to you about regarding the potential of the dollar. In terms of structure, we can see that we've moved in an impulse movement climbing up and climbing up. Now, once we will receive the indication regarding the US dollar, I will look at this chart, the dollar versus Japanese yen. This chart will indicate whether the dollar is changing its perspective, becoming stronger and stronger in the market. A cross beyond the trend line instantly will deliver the potential of the dollar. If we will cross the trend line, we will continue the movement toward another impulse movement climbing up, and that will be a confirmation for this potential. Again, pay attention before the announcement. Look at the chart dollar Japanese yen. See if at the announcement we receive a cross, then that's definitely an indication that the dollar is gaining strength in the market. Then I would definitely look for the weakest currency. In this case, it's the euro. I don't know if it will be the same when the announcement will be pronounced, but if the euro still will be the weakest currency among all the currencies, I will reflect the strength of the dollar in front of it. A good potential here on the Australian dollar in front of the US dollar. Again, until we will receive the announcement, the Australian dollar is still stronger than the US dollar. A good potential for a call option. For traders that see the webinar live, you can participate in a trade like that. But for traders that will watch the recording later, you will be able to trade for a put option if the dollar will continue its stronger position. Let's look at the commodities. And again, wow, look at that. That's definitely an indication that is good for the dollar. At the moment, we can't refer to that because we're expecting to see an announcement. But I've analyzed this pattern at the last several webinars. Again, I'm always placing this trend line, and it's not the trend line that I want to analyze. It's this one, which is closer to the current curve. Okay, so we've managed to bounce on the trend line, forming a triangle that indicates that the market is just waiting for a specific scenario or a specific announcement to deliver, and then there'll be more confidence regarding the uptrend or a downtrend. From this point, we've crossed the trend line, pulling the chart lower. We had a first impulse movement dropping down, second retesting the line. That's the retest. We had a good trade over here, a good indication on the stochastic, and RSI did not drop down significantly on the hourly chart, but on 15 minutes we had an RSI below the level of a 50, and we had a confirmation to participate in a trade from this moment and beyond. So at the moment, our perspective regarding the gold is a continuance of a downtrend until we will have a different statement from the RSI. Again, a stronger dollar in the market, an announcement that will deliver strength to the dollar, will affect the gold and the silver as well. I'm expecting them to drop down, expressing stronger dollar. Again, it all depends on the dollar versus Japanese yen. If it will cross that edge, that trend line, it will indicate a stronger dollar in the market, and that will be reflected through the gold as well. Silver, again, gold and silver are connected. We can see that the same move as occurred on the silver is occurring on the gold, and we're expecting to see the same scenario occurring here if the dollar will gain strength. The crude oil, I've sent a message for traders that we've got a potential for a downtrend over here. Below the trend line, across will signify that will signal that we've got the potential for continuance of a downtrend, and that was a great trade. We can see the continuance of a downtrend over here, and I'm still expecting it to drop down further lower and lower. At the moment, we will need to wait for a confirmation from the stochastic. We've got nothing over here yet, but expectation is for a further weakness on behalf of the crude oil. Euro is among the weakest. Let's see if we can state something regarding the euro with other currencies. As you can see, it's still reflecting weakness. We will check the long-term 15-minute chart. In the binary option, that's a long-term perspective, obviously. Okay, so as you can see, indeed, the euro is expressing weakness in front of all the currencies. A pullback on the stochastic in front of the Japanese yen will allow us to join a downtrend movement, but as I said, the Japanese yen is not strong enough. So what I will do, I will wait for a confirmation in front of the Japanese yen, and when I will receive that confirmation, I will express the weakness in front of the Australian dollar, which is among the strongest currencies at the moment. Until then, I won't really trade the euro because once strong movements begin to move, I can't really find a suitable entrance point unless the stochastic is confirming that perspective. For that, I'll need the stochastic to climb up to give me an exhaustion level, and then I'll be able to join. Now, again, I will not receive a confirmation on the euro versus the Australian dollar because the Australian dollar is too strong. It won't allow the stochastic to climb up and to signal a good entrance point. The signal will be received through the Japanese yen, and it will be expressed in front of the Australian dollar with the longest and the strongest and smoothest movement that I can join to. That concludes our session for today. I wish you all the best with your trades. Have a pleasant day, and bye bye.